correct me if I'm wrong, your particular trait is really getting to grips and understanding the product. And there's a lot of products. So rather than take us through them, because we don't have 4 weeks, can you give us and share some insights? Because there's a lot to acknowledge, there's a lot to learn, and you are well known for the fact that you were able to absorb that and teach that. So what are going to be your top tips on how to approach better product understanding and then how people share that amongst their groups?
Right, so, I mean, when you think about the product lines, and we have several products, I just like to stick to the basics with people first. And then once we get the basics, like the gut health. So gut health with the omega and the vitamin, those are your staples. So I'm starting everyone with that. And then from there, you just start to ask questions of what they need, because not everyone's going to need every single product that we have. So really just getting to know who they are and who your customers are, and then from there, guiding them, because we have so much information in the back office, just like videos and all the file sections, but as Colin said, we don't want to be the researchers. I mean, if you think about it, the best way to learn these products is to be a product of the product.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. So, I get asked this a lot, so I'm going to ask all of you. So you've all got time to think about it, you've got no time. Tell everybody here, and you can pick from any category you like, give us your top 2 favourite go-to products, and then tell us why. And I'm glad you pulled that face, because you all ask me this all the time. It's like picking your favourite child.
Gosh, my favorite too. Well, I take my oil every day. So I absolutely love that because I know what that's doing in my body for every single cell. Gosh, you know what? I think my second favorite right now is Viva. I love that. I just took one about 15 minutes ago.
Why did you do that? It's interesting, isn't it? And that response actually doesn't surprise me. Viva has a huge fan base. And there's something strange because I've been with Zinzino now for nearly 6 years. Do you know how many presentations I've done on Viva? 0. So maybe I should stop doing presentations. Because you all buy all the stuff that you want, regardless of what I say. So Viva, yeah, it's a popular choice. Fantastic. So before we move on to you, Mike, I'd like one more minute. Because you've chosen Viva, let's put a bit of what you've advised into action. So if you were to explain to somebody why they should take Viva, bearing in mind all the things that you need to be sensitive to, what would be the top things that you would encourage?
So for women specifically, Viva is really good if you are a mom and you have lots of little kids running around and trying to focus on one thing when you have a lot happening. So what I'm finding is that if you have a lot of noise or overthinking, then it just helps you to feel more focused on one thing. And so my daughter, she loves it too. She's a mom with a little 4-year-old, and she's like, Mom, I just feel like I can be in the present moment. I'm not overthinking everything. Also for sleep, like I have someone that told me they have tried everything to fall asleep, and they took 2 and said they had the best sleep of their life. But not to go into the science, but the way that it works with your body, it actually works. If you take it in the day, it does one thing. If you take it at night, it does another thing. And it's so, because it's a spice, it's so natural.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Carol. Thank you very much. Let's go over to Dr. Mike. Now, Mike, I'd like you to share a bit of your background. But because I know you and know your background, we are against the clock. So just give people the headlines of your background and your credentials, because we don't have 5 hours. So everyone, this is Dr. Mike Lewis. Give him a huge round of applause.
So, Colin, thank you so much. I am a practicing physician. I spent a lifetime career in the Army. I'm a retired Army colonel. And for the last 20 years, I've been an omega-3 researcher. And I've been privileged to work with some of the largest omega-3 companies in the world. And when I got introduced to Zinzino, it's just continues to blow me away at what we've got here, both from the product side and the people side. And I say I'm even more fortunate than most people because I get one foot on the corporate side, as you invited me to be on the Health Product Advisory Board. So I say I get to peek behind the curtain and hopefully have some influence and insight on research and development. And I also have one foot out in the field, so I have been a diamond for about a year now and enjoy both aspects tremendously. But the research part just continues to amaze me, what you've got going and with the group that you've put together.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So, on that point, I think we can delve into a little bit of the kind of notion of where we're at and where we're going. Because as much as you're active in the field and you've been with us now, I'm trying to remember, it's over a year now, well over a year now. So you're still kind of quite fresh to us though. So what are your thoughts on where we're at currently? And let's just focus on omega-3. And what are your expectations with regards to what you know we're working on and what's shaping up for the future?
Well, first of all, the research and development team is fantastic, and you get to see some of that with the publications like by Martina, who's the lead author, and a who's who list of Zinzino people on that paper. So really, we've got PhD level, multiple PhD level researchers that are on the R&D team. So what they do, what they look at is way beyond what any of you would ever want to know, because they're in such deep levels of the research. And that really comes from the top. That comes from you insisting on, we need to see the science, we need to see the research on everything and anything we do. But let's stick with omega-3s, my area for the last 20 years. Balanced oil is unbelievable. And nobody does a better job than Paul Clayton describing why that's important, that combination of olive oil and omega oil, fish oil. And that's really important. But think about it. 97% of the world is out of balance, right? 99% estimated in North America. If we had this amazing goal, and nobody has ever said this corporately, and don't take me as speaking for corporate, but if we set a goal, just to pick a round number, that we're going to bring 50% of the world into balance, it's a huge goal. And I don't know in my lifetime if we'll ever see that. It's a huge goal. The oceans cannot support that. And the genius of somebody like Lauren Solly and Hilda and Don Peterson and you and Paul Clayton is, where can we go? We have to think differently. We have to think outside the box. And that led to last year, the acquisition of Zion Technology and the development of PhytoFirm. And the concept of growing algae has been around a long time. I left the Army, I retired from the Army to become the Chief Medical Officer of Martech, which became DSM. It's the largest algae company in the world. That was my retirement job, and it didn't pan out. But, so I've had this interest for quite a while in algae, and what Tino is doing at PhytoFirm, it blows me away. I've been fortunate enough, I've spent probably 15, 20 hours on Zoom calls with him, masterclass after masterclass. I mean, we're like, my wife's like, when are you gonna be done? It's been 3 hours already. And you guys just keep talking. We get down into the weeds and, bouncing ideas off of each other. And it blows me away, not only the foresight, but the concept of taking it into the environment and how can we be sustainable into the future. 5 years from now, you guys are all going to be blown away by what we're able to do in the omega-3 space. And because it blows me away now, and yet I get to be part of it and work with Tino and you to help develop that. And its vision, its leadership, way beyond just what you even see today. So trust me, mark my words, 5 years from now, you're going to be blown away by where we are in the omega-3 space.
Wow. What I do want to point out is that it's Mike that made that promise, not me. So, just want to make that clear. And Tino is, anyone who spends any time talking to Tino, myself included, eventually comes away and says to other people, that guy's a genius. He is unbelievable. And it's no surprise you've had 20 hours on calls with him, because if he calls me, I don't know if you have these people in your life, but where you look at the phone and you go, I need to sit down, I probably need a coffee, cancel everything else for the afternoon, because this is never going to be a quick conversation. That's the way Tino works. But thank you, Mike, thank you for that insight into those thoughts. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to keep going down the road here. Alejandro, tell everybody about yourself. By the way, even before this man speaks, we are at Zinzino head office, the product development team, everyone, we are super, super excited about what we are doing. So, yeah, we really are. And it's kind of, what you're going to, I've got a specific question for you. But the products that we're going to discuss here, it's been like a domino effect. And I'm one of the most cynical people. I'm one of the most skeptical people when it comes to products. And literally, within 2 days, I went through a revolution and I was back on the phone to the product manager going, we've got to put this up to the top of the list. We've got to get this out there in the world. So, without further ado, please explain to these good people who you are, and then get ready, because you're going to love my question.
I'm Alejandro, chemical engineer, 25 years into nutrition, and I prefer to explain the products than explain about me.
Okay, so we're talking about Sankey. That was the most modest and brief self-introduction ever. Maybe it's because it's today. Don't worry about the clock. The clock time is a concept that doesn't really exist. Yeah. So we're talking about Sankey products, and we first met in Mexico City. Is that right? We did, and you started to explain it to me then, and I was like, yeah, okay, what is it? So we're going to start with Inner 7 and Bellage, and I want you to tell these people all about magnesium and what's in those products and why we take it in the morning, and then you know what I'm going to ask you after that because it relates to the night time. So in simple terms, but you know, you have got some time, don't you? Explain to these people about Inner 7 and Bellage.
Well, actually all these Sankey products are what we call postbiotics, not pro nor prebiotics. You've heard of prebiotics, we have a great one about probiotics as well, but these are postbiotics. And these are not micronutrients. Micronutrients are vitamins, minerals. These are bioactive compounds. Write that down because maybe you will forget. Just bioactive compounds like peptides, enzymes, short-chain fatty acids, metabolites, and maybe you have never heard of those. Well, they are produced inside your guts. We have been doing research for more than 30 years around centenarians and why they live so long. We started in the Mediterranean, in Europe, then in Japan, and we found that these super healthy people have an amazing microbiome, specific strains of bacteria that were actually producing postbiotics in a different way. On average, we don't have those profiles of bacteria inside our guts. Every single day you are producing postbiotics. It's not something that you're not producing. Your guts are producing, through the bacteria, all these postbiotics. However, the combination of these postbiotics are not necessarily the best ones. Maybe they are pro-inflammatory. They are not helping your gut barrier, your immune system, your energy levels. So what we did was we mapped out all these postbiotics that are produced in super healthy human beings, centenarians, that have a health span that is above, well, a lifespan that is above 100 and a health span that is way lower. That's how they can be so healthy. So after mapping all this out, we reverse engineered through biotech all these postbiotics. And through the 4 Sankey products, because we just have 4, you're obtaining these postbiotics that, on average, I'm sure you're not producing. So you're taking other bioactive compounds that you're not obtaining from any other supplements. So this is a synergy from all the other supplements that we have now in the company. They don't compete, they just give you more options for your body to be healthier. So those are like the products that we have. That's the category that we're building. I can tell you that now you have in your hands the best postbiotics in the world. We're the best on producing these bioactive compounds, because we have been doing this research for more than 30 years. And I partnered with this French scientist that I told you about yesterday, and he's a genius on postbiotics and on gut health and microbiota, microbiome. We're having projects even with the NASA today. Some of our bacteria have even gone to the space station, and we're doing research in the space station, and we're developing amazing technologies for the future, and we'll have them also in Zinzino using AI. It's amazing what we're doing because it's really a very complicated science. So, getting back to your question.
Thank you very much.
The lash and the recycling.
Appreciate it.
That's what I told you, I need something. The lash has a profile of postbiotics that basically gives you more energy, but it's not the energy drink. It's not a Red Bull or a Monster or a Coke or whatever. It doesn't have caffeine, it doesn't have vitamins, taurine. It has postbiotics that come from olive leaves, rosemary leaves, and blue spirulina. How can this give me energy? Well, these postbiotics go directly to the genes inside your mitochondria, and we renew the mitochondria. We activate a process called autophagy, which helps renew the mitochondria and keep you younger, basically. So it's a powerful antioxidant. It increases your microcirculation and it gives you energy for the whole day. Whoever has tried the product now, you will start feeling different. And the product does the work. So just take it and you'll see.
Just take it. So, a certain sport brand say just do it. Zinzino's new slogan is just take it. Just take it. So, really quickly, because now I do have to think about time. Chronuit, which we take at night time, you've got 25 seconds.
Yeah, Chronuit postbiotics from green leaves, black beans, olives, and rosemary as well. This product is basically designed to, and by the way, this is biotech and nanotech, so nanotechnology. So it helps you reduce the absorption of carbs and sugars from your diet to reduce glycemic peaks, store less fat, burn fat, thermogenesis while you're sleeping, and help you sleep in a better way. Everything through epigenetics. Basically, these postbiotics go to the genes and turn on and turn off certain specific genes to help you have a better quality of life. And at the end, the focus is longevity, how to extend your life in a healthy way.
But they don't help you to tell the time. They don't help you. There's so much to these, and I'm going to borrow a little bit of time. For anyone, you may or may not know or not even care, but I'm a huge student of Stoic philosophy. And Stoic philosophy is all about the fact that the calmer your mind is, the closer you are to a position of strength and mental clarity. And if I was to rebrand those products, I would call them Stoicism in a sachet. They are incredible. But anyway, let's move on. Ignore the clock. At Zinzino, we love going over time. The people at the back really appreciate it. So don't look at the clock. Two of my favourite people in the whole world. I first listened to them speak over a year ago, and it blew my mind. Literally blew my mind. So please tell these people why I'm in love with you both, what it is that you've been doing, and then I've got some questions for you.
Just background really quick. So we're longevity researchers, and what that means for us is we're the boots on the ground that go to the villages around the world where there's been identified a high concentration of people living to be 100, 110 and older, and specifically without Western diseases. We look at hundreds of elements that factor into why they live so vibrantly. Been to over 85 countries doing our research, and we're very passionate about it.
What I've come to realise is the people who are most amazing, they don't say so much about themselves. Everyone here has been so modest and going, yeah, I kind of do a little bit. You need to check out the profiles of all these people when you've got more time. But I've got some questions. Because blue zones have become really fascinating for people, I think of Zinzino as a traveling blue zone. So what I'd like you to do, if this is possible, I want to align like the attributes of Zinzino from a product point of view to the attributes of blue zone, where there's a match and a fit and how that works for people.
Well, I think if we're going to I'm just going to stay with the health protocol premium right now. I think. So the health protocol, not just the health protocol, but the health protocol premium really addresses everything that we found when we look. When I say we look at hundreds of elements, particular, the most important, of course, is what goes in their body. You said it best yesterday. You know, we are what we eat. Absolutely, we are. So while many things factor into longevity, the number one, the king, the most important is your diet. And so when we are in the villages, we look at not just what are they eating, what did what they're eating eat, and we look at what herbs are unique to their diet. And they may use herbs medicinally, they also use herbs seasonally, but the animals or the fish that they're eating also eat these particular herbs. So we look at what is the nutritional content of those. And when we were introduced to Zinzino, of course, first, like everyone else, we took the test, we looked at the balance oil, and we understood the importance of that, because when putting on the lens of looking back at all these different diets that are consumed in all of these different villages, hundreds of them all over the world, the one thing that really stands out is that they have a very high omega-3 rich diet. We also found in looking back, after being exposed to the balance ratio and the importance of that, we saw a very low omega-6 presence in their diet. So it was much more balanced than the way that we eat today. So the balance oil addresses that, obviously. And it's interesting because even in villages where they don't consume fish, and they consume, maybe it's wild yak. We don't normally eat wild yak in the Western world, but why is, and wild goat, and wild sheep, and wild rabbit, and why is wild so important? Because they're grazing on the greens and the herbs and the grasses that are rich in omega-3s.
Wow.
So that's how the animal becomes omega-3 rich. And then, so you want to add a little bit on?
So, show of hands, who in here wants to be healthy? I love that, right? So again, when you cross the street, what do? You look to one side, then you look to the other, right? Now, as soon as we go outside this room, there's lots of people, they don't do that. They just walk straight out into the street. Now, that's going to work for a while, and I'm relating this to their health, right? Because, again, most people, they don't pay attention to their health like they should. So we are the ushers, we're the ones that's going to educate them that. So here's a simple formula for you, right? Because, again, yes, we're correlating it to the blue zones, to the longevity research. So, for instance, it actually wasn't the balance oil that drew you to Zinzino. And by the way, let's give a hand for Colin Robinson. He said, the product that got your attention, which is one of the two products that are my favorites, is extend. So when you look at extend, what is extend? It's when you can call it scientifically, and you will see that what's in extend correlates with what the long-lived people live. Now, let's distinguish what the long-lived people do. They spend all their day either growing the food or making the food. We don't have the time to do that. We move beyond that. They don't travel. It's a different life that they live. So for you and I, as we go out to change the whole world, where it's a different way of living, what do we need? We need a gap filler. That's what extend is. Because we need those nutrients, whether it's the B vitamins, it's the minerals, and then we get into, again, another part that's incredible synbiotic, right? We need the inulin, we need the fiber. So every product in the health protocol premium has a very, very specific purpose. But like you're very complex. The human body holds the highest level of cellular intelligence. So synergistically, those 4 products, it's prevention. It's just, they work together. And that's the simplest way of telling you, right? So again, I know you brush your teeth twice a day. Everybody in here, please put it up on your highest list of priority. For prevention, I am going to be in Health Protocol Premium because it covers the gaps.
Thank you very much. We are just over 3 minutes over, so we are going to have to wrap this up now, but I would like you all to give a huge, bigger than ever round of applause for all the people who have given